Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to this video talking about tank destroyers, specifically the tank destroyer missions for the Stug IV. So, Stug IV, tank destroyers. This is the list of missions, there's 15 of them. Generally speaking, the tank destroyer missions are not particularly difficult, and most of them realistically can be completed from their minimum tier requirement, which, in common with the rest of the missions for the Stug IV, are tier 4. I should mention that come patch 9.8, Wargaming are looking at changing a bunch of these missions. So this is not just for the tank destroyers, this is for all of the personal missions. So the sort of things they appear to be looking at doing is simplifying, whatever that means, some of the missions, in particular some of the number 15 missions for the Stug IV and T28 heavy tank concept. I think in particular you're looking at things like Heavy Tank Mission 15 for the Stug being made a little bit easier, because at the moment it does seem like such a ridiculous step up to go from stuff that you can happily do at tier 4 or 5 and then suddenly, bam, realistically you need a tier 8 or 9 tank to get it done. Anyway, they're looking at reworking the platoon missions so that in general you do not have to platoon to complete them. Exactly how they're going to do that, I don't know. They're also looking at removing some of the missions or changing some of the missions that require a large RNG component, i.e., you know, that are just down to pure luck. But interestingly, as far as I can work out, thus far they are keeping the medium tank mission Incinerator, the one where you have to set tanks on fire, which a lot of people find frustrating. Anyway, this is about the tank destroyer mission, so lots of these are really straightforward. Be among the top 7 players on your team by experience, destroy one internal module or knock out a crew member, you know, stuff that's relatively simple to do. There are a few I would like to highlight. Tank Destroyer Mission 8, a huge caliber, cause twice as much damage to enemy vehicles than the hit points of your vehicle. Well, realistically, I would advise doing this either around about tier 5, 4 or 5, because you can do an awful lot of damage there, and around tier 4 or 5 you don't have much health. You know what, a tier 5 tank destroyer has 350 health or something like that, so you need to do 700 damage to complete that. Not hard. The other option is to do it at about tier 8. Oh no, specifically tier 8. Tier 8 tank destroyers get big old guns, but their HP hasn't gone up very much. So take the ISU 152 for instance. You have 1010 health and a gun that hits for 750. If you go up to tier 9, then there's quite a large HP progression from tier 8 to 9 with tank destroyers, and you don't want that because you need to do damage, you know, twice as much damage as you have health. So I would say, I mean, it's 3 shots in an ISU if you have one, or pick a mid-tier tank destroyer or a lower-tier tank destroyer or something like that, and that shouldn't be too difficult. Tank Destroyer Mission 9, score 3 hits in a row. This is really not hard. Do this, you know, if you do this at about tier 4 or 5, the guns are so fast firing that that shouldn't be particularly difficult. And you really shouldn't struggle. Hidden Menace, cause at least 1,000 hit points of damage, remain unspotted, blah blah blah. Do it at the mid tiers, do it at about tier 5. That's easily accessible to most people, should be. And 1,000 points of damage without being spotted, that's not particularly hard. You might want to move, if you've got a higher tier machine, of course, you could do it at higher tiers. It doesn't make it any harder, it's just if you've got access to it, go for it, and if not, don't worry about it. Tank Hunters, so this is one of the platoon missions that might actually change. And it's based on kills, so I would recommend doing this again at the lower end of things, tier 4 or 5. Generally speaking, tanks don't have much health at those tiers and the guns are quite powerful, so racking up kills is not particularly difficult. Tank Destroyer Mission 12, I would say mid-tier and upwards for this. The thing with it is that cause 1,000 HP of damage. While that's not horrifically difficult at about tier 4 or 5, well, tier 4 is quite special, but it's just easier if you do it at higher tiers. So tier 6 maybe for this, something like that would be my advice. Something in of that order. TD13, finish the battle as the top player on your team by damage caused, cause at least 1,000 hit points of damage. Again, not particularly difficult, mid-tier and upwards. I mean, the more damage you do, higher up. You know, the tank destroyers do more damage, but you can do this at pretty much any tier. It's nothing to really, it's not really noteworthy. Join the platoon as a join a battle as a platoon of tank destroyers. Cause 30% of the total damage caused to enemy vehicles by your team. Win the battle. You can do this at pretty much any tier you want. Again, it might be easier. not seal clubbing necessarily, but doing it at about tier 5. Go in a platoon of, I don't know, Wolverines or something and rack up the percentage of damage required. I think I ended up doing it at probably tier 6 or something, but I can't actually remember. So all of these missions are doable quite happily at mid to low tiers, tier 4, 5, 6. Then you get to TD mission 15, cause at least 4,000 hit points of damage to enemy vehicles. That's a bit of a bugger. I mean, you could do this at tier 7. Tier 6 is a push. You could do it at tier 7. I think I've come close in a couple of tier 7 tank destroyers before, but realistically you want to do this at tier 8 or above. It makes your life so much easier if you have a tier 8 machine for this. This might be one of the missions that gets, and I quote, simplified in patch 9.8, I don't know. But if you want to complete it now, I would do it in a tier 8 or above mission. Tank destroyer. Machine, that's the word I was looking for. And you can see I completed it with honours by destroying an enemy vehicle. If you've done 4,000 points of damage, it's not that unlikely that you're going to have killed an enemy vehicle at the same time. Winning is not a criteria for this, so don't worry about that. Yeah, and so let's just jump into the game where I actually complete Tank Destroyer Mission 15. Here's the replay I wanted to show you. You can see that I am doing this mission in my highest tier tank destroyer. This is the ISU 152, the tier 8 Soviet tank destroyer with the massive 152mm boomstick. This is Redshire, which is rather a nice map for sort of campy tank destroyers, which the ISU is. And I was playing the ISU a fair bit at the time in an effort to do 4k damage. It was the machine, despite my own personal feelings about it, it's the machine that I had the best chance of doing it in. So, you may have seen me use this position before. I tend to quite like the position at G4 if you're in a medium tank or a tank destroyer. I think it gives you quite a commanding firing position across a good chunk of the map. So that's where I'm going in my ISU. Now, 4,000 damage, I mean the ISU hits for 750 average each time you pull the trigger. So that's what, it's 4 penetrating shots. Assuming they all do 4, no it's not, that's a lie. Sorry, it's about 8 penetrating shots. Assuming they all do full damage or close to. Anyway, this is a tier 9 game, so there should be plenty of health to go around, but it does mean there aren't any poor tier 6 medium tanks for me to one-shot, which is actually good, because I always feel a little bit dirty when I do that. Anyway, the enemy team is likely to be pushing at least some tanks down toward the 0 line, and so I'm just trying to set up a bit of an ambush for them. And nobody likes 152mm ambushes. Carnarvon! Yeah, no, he's using cover. He's intelligent. Jagdpanther, don't have a shot on him either. T-54, E1, oh no. And we've lost our IS already. T-54, E1, I have the slimmest of shots. There's no way in hell that's going to hit. I really shouldn't take this shot. But I do, and it hits. Because BL10, I mean, what you're going to do? This gun is completely RNG based. The slimmest of shots, this gun is not very accurate, it does not aim very quickly. Somehow I managed to hit and penetrate that. Well, once I've hit it, penetrating it isn't too difficult with 280 something millimeters of penetration, but hitting it in the first place was ridiculous. Anyway, Jagdtiger 88, I don't really seem to have much there, or do I? No, I don't. T-54E1, can we do it again? I don't really have anything to shoot at. Alas. Now, they did change Redshire a little while ago because it was a rather campy, boring map. And they did make it less campy and boring, but it's still quite a, well, campy map, let's be honest. Flush shots into the side of a Super Pershing, yes please, he moved, still want those shots, and there goes 633 of his health, which, believe it or not, was actually a low damage roll. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I guess I really can't complain too much. T-28 prototype, Oh, there's a bunch. Oh, Ferdinand. No, you had a silhouette on a Ferdinand. Go back. No, go back. Ferdinand silhouette. What are you doing? Oh, so bad. No, don't go for another slim shot on the T-54E1. He only has 170 health on him. Ferdinand. Wow, I can't believe I wasn't shooting the Ferdinand. Maybe I didn't see the silhouette at the time or something. I don't know. Ferdinand dies anyway, but that was such a missed opportunity, looking back on it. Oh well, never mind. Scoreline is 5-4, so we're not getting completely face-rolled, which is nice. And after my recent experience, it's very pleasant indeed. Super Pershing away in the distance. Don't really have a shot on him. Now, I've only actually fired 2 shots all game so far. Racked up a respectable amount of damage though, because this gun hits like a ton of bricks. It really does. IS-3. Ooh, flanking shots into the IS-3. Yes, please. Oh, I wonder if I can ammo rack him. No, but, you know, he only had 672 health left anyway, so that's a kill. IS only has 710 health, so as long as he doesn't run away too much, I should be able to pick up the kill. No, he's run too far. Tiger, I kill instead. Kill number 2. Oh, rear shots onto a Tiger P, or side of the turret, or something. Yes, please. Just waiting for the gun to reload, which does take a while because it's a 152mm gun at tier 8. But I keep rolling low. It's so frustrating. I guess some of these shots, to be fair, were killing shots, so they weren't rolling low, they were just rolling for however much health the guy had left. But there we go. AMX 5120 is not having a good day. He has 57 health remaining, and now he's dead. Our IS-3 is whinging and moaning. I'm not really sure why. Oh wait, yes I do, because he died. But we're winning this 9-5 fairly comfortably. Our team's playing well. I mean, don't complain when your team's playing well, for goodness sake. No, IS is dead. Do I have a shot on the Tiger P? Doesn't look very hopeful. Super Pershing and a T-54E1 over to the right-hand side. And I wish our IS-3 would be quiet, but what are you going to do? There's also the T-25, so the T-25AT is at A2. The T-54E1 and the T-26E4, i.e. Super Pershing, oh I take that shot not fully aimed, are over at E9, E0, and the T-28 Prot is at B8. Can I pick up any more damage before the game ends? There isn't much health left on these guys. I mean, if I can kill 1 or 2 of them, grand, but they're not going to get me much damage towards the 4K mission. But as I'm showing this, you should be aware, you know, have guessed that I do hit the 4K mark. So coming over here, there's only these 2 guys left now. The T-28 Prototype and the T-25-2 both died. Sorry, T-25AT both died. Just the Super Pershing and the T-54E1. 170 health. Can someone nail this guy? Probably. Just speed this along a little bit. Going uphill, the ISU is not exactly the fastest machine in the world. There's the Super Pershing. Object 416. AMX 5120 got him. There we go. Now, that game didn't look spectacular, but when you have a gun that hits on average for 750 each time you pull the trigger, and I don't think I missed a single... No, before the end, I don't think I missed a single shot. It means the damage racks up quickly, and that was just over 4,000 damage, so that completed the mission for me. So, yeah, I mean, the Tank Destroyer missions in general, generally speaking, they're not particularly difficult. It's just TD15 that realistically requires a higher tier machine to complete, which is kind of annoying, but that's the way it currently is. What are you going to do? As I mentioned, it looks like Wargaming are thinking about changing the personal missions though, so we'll see how that pans out come patch 9.8. Anyway, I hope that gave you guys some sort of idea of what some of the Tank Destroyer missions are like. I hope you found the video vaguely useful, informative, enjoyable, interesting, whatever. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel. And as ever, I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao ciao.